If you were one of the millions of people that watched the Super Bowl this year, then without a doubt, you saw the teaser for Avengers Endgame. And on the 30-second TV spot, we sure did have a lot more action than actual Super Bowl game, which is weird because it was mostly people just walking. After watching this 30-second clip more times than I care to share with any of you, I have even more theories about what's going on in the upcoming April film. Don't worry, this time around I haven't completely lost my mind. So here are 6 more theories that could break or mildly inconvenience the MCU. Number 1. Endgame takes place a few years after Infinity War. While many folks may think the best way to handle the next Avengers installment is to simply have it take place right after the events of Infinity War, I propose that there will be 2 to 3 years in between Infinity War and Endgame. At the 8-second mark of the Super Bowl spot, we see a poster that says, "Where do we go now that they are gone?" This is obviously referring to the Thanos snap, which resulted in half the life in the universe being wiped from existence. We're living in a world where support groups exist now, and that means people are on the road to healing. This takes time, and I'm thinking that at least a couple of years have passed since Infinity War. Number 2. New York City is a dead zone. Listen, if you live in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, New York City is the worst. There are plenty of movies where there had to have been some collateral damage. The Avengers, Loki's army destroys parts of the city. In Spider-Man Homecoming, robbers blow up a deli with a future weapon. The Staten Island ferry is cut in half. There was a plane crash at Coney Island. In Doctor Strange, the city folded itself in half. Luckily, no one got to see that unless they were Mystic. In Iron Man 2, a bunch of robots fought Tony Stark in Flushing Meadows. And in Infinity War, well, you remember what happened. So cut to the new Endgame trailer, and we see a shot of Manhattan, and it's dusk but there's no lights in any of the buildings. Why? Because no one wants to live in a city that's constantly under the threat of attack from robots, aliens, and tricky Asgardians. At this point, people all across the country will find cities the worst place to live and spread out across the United States. And yes, the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer totally shows Peter Parker living it up in Queens. But this version of New York City won't exist in the future MCU. It'll be all undone. Number 3. Captain America is for sure time traveling back to World War II. I mentioned this in my last theories piece, but it bears repeating. This teaser solidifies the theory even more. There is a brief shot of Captain America strapping up his shield to his arm. And everything about this quick shot screams, "This is 1944!
I met somebody who was mighty sweet."
Damn right I looked up songs from 1944. Number 4. Nebula is a double agent. Something doesn't sit right with me with Nebula. In the trailer, we briefly see Tony Stark and Nebula working together on a ship, lest we forget that Nebula is still the daughter of Thanos, and while it's been made apparent time and time again that she hates her father for everything he's done to her, what if she's actually a double agent, spared from death in order to ensure Thanos' plan doesn't get undone? Thanos held her captive during Infinity War, and he obviously did so in order to get Gamora to take him to the Soul Stone. However, what if there is more to that? While the clip of her and Stark is brief and doesn't help this theory on its surface, it seems too obvious that a character from such an evil lineage, just like her half-sister Gamora, would betray her father. What if Nebula had another purpose? What if she was then supposed to implant herself amongst the heroes and sabotage them? What if I never stopped asking what-if questions? Number 5. All Phase 4 characters are revealed in the opening. While we're all the most excited for Endgame to come out, so many of us are wondering where the Marvel Cinematic Universe will go next and who will survive Endgame. What if the new Endgame teaser just flat out told us who was going to survive? During the opening of the TV spot, there are a few quick flashes of characters all in black, white, and red. The Wasp, Nick Fury, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Falcon, Scarlet Witch, Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther, Winter Soldier, and Vision. The majority of these folks were dusted off at the end of Infinity War. So why show these characters before the Marvel Studios logo? Because this is the future of the MCU. Aside from Nick Fury, no one here is a Phase 1 character. The characters we know and love from the MCU are probably going to die if they weren't in that quick opening montage. Why would Marvel choose those characters to show? Why is it happening so quickly? It's because these characters are the future, which actually really bums me out because Scott Lang wasn't there. Number 6. The Avengers recruit their own Thanos. Listen, these theories have been pretty tame compared to normal, but this last one is a bit out there, so stay with me.
With Thanos?
There are a few shots in the trailer where it looks like someone should be standing, but it's an empty space. Many people across the internet are saying, "They edited out Captain Marvel or Iron Man!" And Disney has digitally manipulated images in trailers in the past, so it's not out of the question. But let's think big here. The character removed wasn't some puny human, or half-human with Kree blood. It was a mad titan. Why remove a character we know is going to be in the movie? The reason there's a giant empty space there is because the Avengers have recruited Thanos to help defeat Thanos. I believe a future version of Thanos finally came to the realization that killing Gamora to get the Soul Stone was a totally bad idea. Sure, there's the whole dusting of half the universe, but Thanos probably doesn't feel too bad about that. Thanos uses the Time Stone to go back in time to help the Avengers defeat a younger version of himself. It's probably the biggest swerve Marvel could pull on its audience, and frankly, it sounds really awesome. So what are your theories about Avengers Endgame? If you enjoyed all of these theories, make sure to check out our original 7 Avengers Endgame theories that could break the MCU piece. I had a much better beard in that one. But for more deep dives into TV, movies, and everything that you enjoy, keep it tuned to GameSpot Universe. Bye, ding dong!